They think about it. I don't have to do anything but cultivate and gain accomplishment on my own. And so they cultivate according to that Dharma law. Once they have cultivated and certified to the fruit of arhatship, the Buddha opens the provisional to reveal the real. He does away with the provisional Dharma in favor of the great vehicle. At that time, even though they may not want to cultivate it, they've got a taste of the Dharma, and so they set the lesser Dharmas aside and cultivate the great vehicle. When they cultivate the great vehicle, they have to give and hold the precepts. Giving and morality are the first two of the six perfections. As to maintaining the precepts, those who wish to maintain precepts are advised to do so themselves. They should pay attention to whether or not they themselves are keeping the precepts. They should not go around pestering other people about them, saying things like, "Since you don't understand, I'll explain to you how to keep this precept here." Precepts are to be kept personally. You should not go around telling other people to keep them. Keep your own precepts. Don't fail to keep them yourselves and yet haunt other people about keeping them. That is just like having filthy clothes yourself which you do not wash and yet helping others wash their clothes. It's also called neglecting your own fields and weeding other people's fields. You do not work in your own fields, but you go help others plant theirs. Your own go to ruin and you reap no harvest. So in keeping the precepts, keep them yourself. You must also practice the perfections of patience, vigor, jhana samadhi, and prana. You must cultivate all these various Dharma doors. So, why did the Buddha not speak the great vehicle Dharma to begin with? It was because he feared that those of the two vehicles would not have it in their hearts to benefit others, but would only care to benefit themselves. That is why he spoke the lesser dharmas first, then later, when they had realized their own self-benefit, they could start to think about enlightening others. Thus, the Buddha used all manners of methods to teach living beings to leave their attachments. Living beings had to learn to part with the things that they could not put down, their attachments. At this point in the sutra, everyone would return the light and reverse the illumination. Ask yourself, have I now separated from my attachments? If you have separated from your attachments, you should separate from them a bit further. If you have not separated from them, hurry up and do so. Do not be attached. We should definitely believe in the Dharma which the third command has spoken. We should not merely listen without actually practicing. The most important thing is to separate from attachments. Why is this? Why should one separate from all attachments? The third command has already perfected his expedient devices, his knowledge and vision, and the paramitas. He has reached the other shore in all of these. He has penetrated the source of Dharma with his knowledge. Shariputra, the knowledge and vision of the third command is vast, great, profound, and far-reaching. What is the knowledge of the third command? It refers to wisdom that plumbs the source of all dharmas. The third command's vision refers to comprehending the emptiness of all dharmas. The Buddha's knowledge and vision is broad. There is nothing more vast, nothing greater. It cannot be spoken of in terms of numbers. It is so big, there is nothing beyond it, and so small, there is nothing inside it. It is so great that you could not find anything greater or more profound. It is extremely deep. Ultimately, how deep is it? No one knows. He has profoundly entered without boundary the unlimited. The Buddha has four unlimited minds: kindness, compassion, joy, and giving. The unobstructed refers to the 4 types of unobstructed eloquence. Unobstructed eloquence in Dharma, unobstructed eloquence in meaning, unobstructed eloquence in phrasing, and unobstructed eloquence in delight in speaking. The powers of the 10 wisdom powers of the Buddha. Fearlessness refers to his 4 types of fearlessness. Dhyana concentrations refers to the Buddha samadhis. Dhyana is a Sanskrit word which is interpreted as a thought cultivation, 思维小, or as a stilling thought, 静虑. Through the practice of dhyana meditation, false thinking disappears. No matter what one does, one should be concentrated. You can obtain samadhi in anything you do: chopping wood, drawing water, serving guests. In all situations, one can cultivate concentration. Dhyana Master Yu Ming-shou, the 6th patriarch of the Pure Land School in China, recited the Buddha's name 100,000 times a day. Namo Amitabha Buddha, Namo Amitabha Buddha. And yet he did not shirk any of his duties. He did all kinds of work. But while he was working, he was in the Buddha recitation samadhi. Each time he recited Namo Amitabha Buddha, a transformation Buddha came out of his mouth. Who saw it? The people at the time who had the Buddha eye could see it. Ordinary people could not. Everyone said that Dhyana Master Yu Ming-shou was a transformation body of Amitabha Buddha. He was always in the Buddha recitation samadhi. So you see, no matter what kind of work you are involved in, all you have to do is have a persevering, unchanging mind, and you can obtain concentration power. And samadhis of liberation. These states of samadhi were so high and so deep, they could not be fathomed. The thirst common has profoundly entered them. Without boundary, there is no limit to them. Accomplishing all those dharmas never had before, he is able to accomplish those dharmas which have never been before, the samadhis which have never been before. Shariputra Sutra. Shariputra, the thirst come one is able to make various discriminations, cleverly speaking all dharmas. His speech is gentle and delights the hearts of the multitudes. Shariputra, essentially speaking, the Buddha has fully accomplished all of those unlimited, boundless dharmas which have never been before. Commentary. Shakyamuni Buddha calls out once again. Shariputra, the third come one, is able to make various discriminations. The Buddha, the world-honored one, is skilled at discriminating the real mark of all dharmas. What is meant by dharma? The dharma is a method. If you speak the method in an ingenious way, you can lead your listeners to accept your doctrines. That is clever speech. If you speak clumsily, you may talk them out of believing. Basically, it was something they enjoyed doing, but by the time you are done talking about it, they no longer want to do it. That's clumsy, awkward speech. If they did not want to do something and you talked them into it, that would be clever speech. The 6th patriarch, the great Master Hui Neng, could not read, but he was able to speak all dharmas ingeniously. Once there were 2 people who were arguing. One of them said that the wind was moving, and the other said the flag was moving. They argued back and forth for a long time. The 6th patriarch said to them, "The wind isn't moving, and the flag isn't moving. Your minds are moving. When your minds move, the flag moves and the wind moves. But if your minds don't move, then nothing moves. That's a clever speech. If you know how to cultivate the way, you can do so in all your activities and you will always be in samadhi. How did the sixth patriarch become enlightened? He was a firewood gatherer in the mountains. He took his bundles into town, sold them, and used the money to support his old mother. He did this out of a sense of filiality. He did not sit in meditation and investigate dhyana. When he went to the monastery of the fifth patriarch, what do you think happened? The fifth patriarch ordered him to pound rice. He pounded rice all day long. He had no time to meditate or study the Buddha Dharma. He did not recite a single sentence of a mantra or sit once in meditation, but he became enlightened. How did he become enlightened? In everything he did, he worked with a single mind. He did not strike up false thinking because he made his mind one-pointed. He gained genuine samadhi. No matter what people do, if they can make their minds one-pointed, they can obtain samadhi and become enlightened. You don't necessarily have to sit in dhyana meditation. His speech is gentle. The Buddha speaks the Dharma with very gentle words. He does not put a lot of pressure on people, saying things like, "Hey, do this. If you don't do it, you're in trouble." He's not like me, this unfair teacher who has set down a very unfair law. I said that if any of you got angry, all parties involved had to kneel for 24 hours straight. Still, even though the law is unfair, I did not do it for selfish reasons. It is a kind of ingenious method to keep you from getting angry. If you do not understand this Dharma, you might find it unfair. But if you understand it, you'll know that it is the most wonderful Dharma indeed. And delights the hearts of the multitudes. The words the Buddha speaks are extremely gentle and harmonious. Everyone who hears them feels extremely happy. His speech seems to be very much in accord with their own way of seeing things. Thus, their hearts are delighted, they are all happy. Shariputra says the Buddha yet again. Essentially speaking, to come right to the point, the Buddha has fully accomplished all of those unlimited Bliss dharmas which have never been before. There are unlimited dharmas which have never been before, and the Buddha has accomplished every one of them. However, accomplishing is accomplishing, and that is one thing, but now he says, Sutra, stop. Commentary. Today we will stop at the word stop. If the Buddha himself says stop, how can I continue? So I will not speak either. Tomorrow, though, we are going to discuss the most important part of the sutra, the 10 suchnesses. Since it is such an important passage, I'm not going to discuss it today. You can wait nervously for a night, and I'll tell you tomorrow. Sutra. Shariputra, there is no need to speak further. Why is this? Answer that for most rare and hard to understand Dharma accomplished by the Buddha, only the Buddhas and the Buddha can exhaust the real mark of all Dharmas, that is to say, with regard to all Dharmas. The suchness of the marks, the suchness of the nature, the suchness of the substance, the suchness of the power, the suchness of the function, the suchness of the causes, the suchness of the conditions, the suchness of the effects, the suchness of the retributions, and the suchness of the ultimate quality from beginning to end. Commentary. Stop, says Shakyamuni Buddha. Cease. This means that the Buddha did not want to speak the Dharma Flower Sutra. Why not? It was to be feared that if he spoke it, people would not believe it. What is more, They may slander it and thereby create limitless bad karma. So the Buddha thought not to speak it. He said, I'm not going to speak it. Shariputra, there's no need to speak further. I don't want to continue speaking the sutra. Why is this? As to that foremost rare and hard to understand Dharma accomplished by the Buddha, the foremost number one Dharma which the Buddha cultivated and accomplished is the non-dual Dharma door. The non-dual Dharma door is not two. It transcends the relative. Rare means that it has appeared very, very rarely. Why is it hard to understand? It is because it is extremely profound. This Dharma is foremost rare and hard to understand. Only the Buddhas and the Buddha, that is, only the Buddhas of the 10 directions, and Shakyamuni Buddha can exhaust the real mark of all Dharmas. Only the Buddhas can be clear about the real mark of all Dharmas. The real mark is unmarked, and yet there's nothing so marked with it. That is to say, with regard to all Dharmas, in general, all Dharmas do not go beyond the 10 suchnesses. To speak in terms of the 10 Dharma realms, there are 10 suchnesses in the realm of the Buddha, 10 suchnesses in the realm of the Bodhisattvas, 10 suchnesses in the realm of the conditioned enlightened ones, and 10 suchnesses in the realm of the hearers. There are 10 suchnesses in the realm of the gods, 10 suchnesses in the realm of humans, 10 suchnesses in the realm of asuras, 10 suchnesses in the realm of hungry ghosts, 10 suchnesses in the realm of the hells, and 10 suchnesses in the realm of animals. 10 suchnesses in each 10 realms makes 100 realms. In each of the 100 realms, there are also 10 suchnesses, making 1,000 suchnesses. I'm explaining this to you very generally because it is the first time you have heard it, and so you probably will not understand it too well. But if you hear it once, then the second, the third time you hear it, you may be able to understand it. Why do you understand it? Because it is the first time you've heard the sutra and you hear all these. Such a lot of them. You do not understand them. However, the essential meaning of the Dharma Flower Sutra is right here in the 10 suchnesses. Although you cannot fully understand it, you should pay special attention to it. Now I will explain the 10 suchnesses. The word suchness in Chinese is composed of two characters, ru, like, and shu. It is. Suchness means thus it is. Thus is a word that points to the Dharma. It means that we are speaking of these Dharmas. The suchness of the mark. What is a mark? It is very simple, very easy to understand. It is an appearance, but an appearance may be true or false. What is a true appearance? That is also very easy to understand. It is permanent and unchanging. The permanent is the true appearance. It is, as the Suragama Sutra states, the permanently abiding true heart, the bright substance of our pure nature. Permanent means that it does not change. It is unchanging, and yet it occurs with conditions. It occurs with conditions and yet does not change. It is not produced, not destroyed, not divided, not pure, not increased, not decreased. If I say too much, it is of no use. I am just explaining it in terms that readily understandable. It is simply the real mark of true suchness, also called the permanent. The real mark of true suchness is not something everyone can understand, and so the text says. Only the Buddhas and the Buddha can exhaust the real mark of all dharmas. This refers to the suchness of the mark, the true mark. What is it? I think you can probably understand it somewhat. There is also the false mark. There is something that you are also very familiar with. You all know your friend. Who is it? Ignorance. Do you recognize it? Do you understand the term? It is nothing new. I have been lecturing the sutras for a long time and I often bring it up. Ignorance, an important character. It is like the leading teacher in a play. No doubt you are all familiar with it. Ignorance is just a false mark. It is not true, and so it is subject to production, extinction, increase, decrease, defilement, purity, and so on. Ignorance is empty and false. It has no real substance. It is only a name and corresponds to nothing in reality. It cannot be grasped or seen. It causes us to undergo birth, old age, sickness, and death, worry, grief, and misery. In the fire of the three realms, all living beings are burned. It's like being burned in a fire or boiled in water. That difficult to undergo. The first common Shakyamuni Buddha had genuine wisdom, and he knew about these problems. He made no mistakes in teaching living beings. Not being mistaken is just the true and real. In accord with the principle, it is the true, real doctrine. It is most reasonable, and so it is termed the suchness of the mark. The suchness of the mark has the two aspects of true and false. Because the Buddha taught them, we are able to hear this wonderful Dharma. As a verse earlier in the text says, the real meaning of all dharmas I have already expounded for all heroes.